Well, we welcome you in here to Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, as we get ready for another round of Friday Night Lights here on Zaleski Sports. Tonight it is a matchup between the away Pittsville Panthers and the home Assumption Royals. And a reminder that today's pregame show brought to you by Next Step Prosthetics, providing Wisconsin. Take your next step and contact them today.
We have team members in our lives, whether it's this or that or friends, and he's my team member that look for my best interest. And he said, we're going to get you up walking without the walker. And I'm like, oh, really? And he says, yeah, we are. I'm really grateful from the bottom of my heart to Shai and his staff because they made the impossible seem possible.
Call to set up a free, no obligation evaluation. Next Step Prosthetics, the fit for you.
Well, welcome back here to Central Wisconsin, Wisconsin Rapids. And it is October, I guess. You know, the weather doesn't exactly say that. 76 degrees. But the weather is clear. It is not rainy like it was the last time I called a game here in Wisconsin Rapids. And we got some great weather. Hopefully a nice, clean, healthy game for both sides as we take a look at both of these two sides playing here tonight. We'll start here with the away Pittsville Panthers. They are technically 1-5 and 1-3 within the conference. That was due to a forfeit by a team they were going to play this season. And so technically 1-5, but in the games they have played, still looking for their first victory of the season. That being said, they have had a very tough schedule so far this year. They played a very good Marathon team, losing that one. They lost to Spencer Columbus in a very close one, a 49-34 bout between those two teams. Then they played some very tough teams, Auburndale, Edgar, and then Abbotsford, almost defeating Abbotsford in that last contest. And so it's going to be interesting to see how they play against an Assumption team that definitely struggled against Abbotsford when they played them a couple weeks ago. Taking a look at these keys to the game here for the Panthers, I talked to head coach and really appreciated Jeremy Dewar talking to us before the game, and he kind of talked a lot about this assignment football. It's something you're going to hear a lot talking about these Assumption Royals. A lot of coaches I've talked to have talked about assignment football, and that is due to the fact that they have that great 1-2 punch of Braxton Steiner. Not only can he either run or pass the ball efficiently, but then you have the downhill style of Wiley Cornwell in the way as well, and it's difficult to combat that option style, and so they're going to have to find a way to do that here tonight. And on top of that, Pittsville very confident in their offense. Really, the only thing they told me was playing clean football with no turnovers was going to be the key to victory here tonight for this Pittsville team. As for the home Assumption Royals, they are 2-4 overall this season, 2-2 within the conference. They had kind of a season so far where their wins were sandwiched between pairs of losses, 2 straight losses, 2 straight wins, and then 2 more straight losses. They're looking to try and get back onto a positive rhythm and get back into the winning column and just get some momentum because they seem to be winning and losing in pairs so far this year. Lost to Marquesan to start out the season, then to Pepin Alma, and then defeated Pacelli and then Iola Scandinavia in 2 impressive wins. And then again, just like Pittsville, they've just had some really tough opponents these last 2 games, playing Abbotsford and then at Edgar in their last game. And their keys to the game, stop and slow down Dawson Luther, as he has been an absolute force for them, especially last game. If you did not take a look at that game last week, it was absolutely special. Did lose 50-42 to Abbotsford, but certainly kept it close to 389 rushing yards on 29 attempts. If you're doing the math at home, that's 13.5 yards per rush. When you're picking up a first down on average per rush, that is special. He picked up 5 of the 6 touchdowns for Pittsville. The most historic performance in Pittsville's entire time of being a team, because Chris Solachki, if I'm pronouncing that right, with 334 yards, that's a 50-yard difference. It wasn't even close, and it shattered the record. And just an absolute athlete Dawson Luther is. Definitely the biggest player to watch for this Pittsville team, so slowing him down definitely going to be huge. Also finding a way to start out on top, commanding time of possession. This is going to be a game focused on the run. If you are focusing on the run, you want to make sure you are ahead, as we will turn things over here to the PA and get ready for our national anthem and announce these players.
And our very own from Assumption High School. Everyone, please stand for the prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. Father in heaven, we ask your blessing on the game we're about to play. Thank you for the opportunity to compete and bring out the best in each other. Please keep everyone safe from injury, harm, and disrespect. For our athletes, coaches, fans, and officials, give each of us the charity, humility, and courage to play, coach, cheer, and referee in a manner which is pleasing you, giving our absolute best for your glory and honor. Saint Michael the Archangel, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. High school athletics are eventful. As members of the Central Wisconsin Conference, please remember that players, coaches, and officials all try to do their best. Let's respect their efforts. Thank you. At this time, please stand if you're able and remove your hats for the presentation of colors by the Buckley Baldwin VFW Post 2534 Honor Guard. Upon completion of this ceremony, please remain standing until the Honor Guard has left the floor. Thank you. God bless America. Now for this evening's starting lineup. First for the Panthers on defense. Number 2, senior Dawson Luther. 23, senior Christian Matthews. 24, senior Cash Osterman. 28, senior Titus Reese. 32, senior Dalton Dar. 34, junior Nora Canoyer. Number 50, junior Jackson Dorr. Number 51, senior Brody Withers. Number 56, senior Keegan Becker. Number 63, junior Carter Kiefer. And number 66, junior Xander Schooley. Head coach Jeremy Doer. For your Assumption Royals on offense this evening. Number 3, junior Braxton Steiner. Number 6, junior Trey France. Number 7, junior Wiley Cornwell. Number 8, sophomore Reese Sauter. Number 9, sophomore Kaylin Ott. 33, junior Camden Martin. 55, freshman Odin France. 56, junior Gabe Hockey. Number 65, junior Brendan Morbacher. 71, senior Quan Tran. And number 75, freshman Ben Dean. Head coach Jeff Sullivan.
And with that out of the way, all that's left to do is play this game here on Zaleski Sports. Thanks again for tuning in. Again, Connor Philippi with you as we are just about ready to kick things off here from Wisconsin Rapids. Again, if you're just joining us, Pittsville Panthers, the away team going up against the home Assumption Royals, and it is homecoming here tonight for the Assumption Royals. And taking one quick look here at the players to watch, obviously talking about Dawson Luther a lot throughout the course of this pregame, but Jeremy Doer talking a lot of good about all of his players. A few more he wanted us to look out for here in this game. Dalton Dar, he's expecting him to start heating things up, having some good games running the ball. And on defense, Christian Matthews, a lockdown corner for this team, a great open field tackler is what Doer said about him. Also, Jackson Doer has been really dominant in the middle of the defensive line. Xander Schooley should have a big game on defense as well. All those players to watch. On top of that, an unsung hero in Brody Withers that Jeremy Doer wanted to bring up. He moved to the offensive line this year to make the team better and did so with no questions asked and has played very well for the team so far this season. And those unsung players don't always get the same credit that a lot of other players do, especially on those lines. You know, they're not the position players that get all of the points on the board, but they certainly are the parts of the team that are really the glue that keep the team together, and you can't go anywhere without those linemen. So important to keep an eye on those players throughout the course of the game. For the Assumption Royals, Braxton Steinert, he's going to be a huge factor for this Royals team. We've seen him multiple times throughout this year. He's had to be the player to battle, and this team has gone up against some really good quarterbacks on the other side of the ball. And it's been his job to try and find a way to outplay them. Certainly going to be a tall task here tonight going up against Dawson Luther, but he certainly is up for the challenge. Top of that, Wiley Cornwell, the downhill player for this team, running with all the aggression that you want to see from him as this one goes out of bounds right around the 40-yard line.
Kickoff goes out of bounds.
And typically the penalty would bring the ball further back than it is right now, and so they are going to place it right there at the 40-yard line. And out comes this Assumption Royals offense. Like I talked about, one of the keys to the game, in my opinion, for this team is they have to find a way to be the team to get on the scoreboard first. You know, this is a game of time of possession, field position, and both teams running the ball as heavily as they do. You want to be the team ahead, and you certainly don't want the ball or the game to get away from either team early in this one. So it's going to be very important for both sides to make sure this is at the very least a close game all the way through. And starting things off well for this Assumption Royals team is the player I just mentioned, Wiley Cornwell, picking up about 5 yards on the play, and we'll talk throughout the course of the game. Just like I said, Jeremy Dewar saying this team needs to play good assignment football, as I was actually pick up a 4. Playing good assignment football, the key against this team that runs on that option is they have the speed of Steinert on the outside, and so it's such a big option to be able to use that speed on the outside and then go right downhill with Cornwell on first and second down, as they'll hand it off to him once more. This time he'll get stonewalled at the line, and a good play that time. Looked like the first to get to him was Noah Cornoyer, number 34 for this Pittsville team. He's a junior for Pittsville, and that'll set up a 3rd and 5 here right at midfield. Offensive adversity right out of the gate for this Assumption Royals team. Jeff Sullivan, the head coach of the Royals. And this team dealt with plenty of adversity throughout the season so far. Both teams have, but getting close here to the home stretch, looking for ways to make an impact on all aspects of the game, and tossing this one back. This is going to get nowhere. Trying to find some way to sneak through, but unable to do it, and he is going to be stopped to set up a 4th and long right out of the gate. And it was a convoy of Pittsville players that time that tossed to the side, absolutely fooling nobody, and they're going to have to find some ways to push this ball downfield and not just go for those short passes to see how many yards you can pick up, see how much space you can gain on those plays. Certainly good ideas on first down and second down, maybe even third and very short. And that's going to be a kick-catch interference most likely there, as it's going to be run into the end zone by Cornwell, but no touchdown there. He was touched before the ball even got to him, and that's going to be a penalty. So a situation where Assumption thought they were going to pin Pittsville deep in their own territory, and they're going to most likely walk this ball forward for Pittsville. And just a little bit overzealous there, and it's tough for a team when you do so well on the special team side of the ball that you get there that quickly, because it's almost like you did too well on special teams to the point where you accidentally touch the punt returner. And so instead of the ball being right around the 20 where it would have ended up, most likely would have been fair caught around the 20. Now all of a sudden it's at the 36-yard line, and you lost about a 1st down and a half right out of the gate. And so we see the current Pittsville single game rushing all-time leader for the Panthers under center, and just like that, it's going to be an offside penalty, or an encroachment penalty, I should say, on the Assumption Royals. And so before Pittsville even gets a snap in, 20 yards worth of penalties ends up setting Assumption back. They ended up punting that ball from right around the 40-yard line, and before an offensive snap, it's already right around midfield. You don't want to get this Pittsville offense and Dawson Luther any more leeway than they already are going to, as this one's going to be handed off, ripping his way through defenders and falling right around the line to gain, not quite getting there, is Dalton Darr. He is that running back to look for, as looks like they actually are going to give him the 1st down there, as head coach Jeremy Dewar naming him as a player to look for here tonight. Said he expected him to start heating up, and that was a pretty good start. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line, as we still have no score here on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard after just one offensive possession so far in this game, if you're just joining us. Trying to work his way through and getting tripped up there nicely by Braxton Steinert. And it's interesting to see when you've got a lot of these players on both sides of the ball working both offensively and defensively. You're going to start to see offensive players on the other side of the ball trying to make their own job easier. Certainly makes things more exhausting to have to play both sides of the ball, but you have that extra added motivation knowing that whatever you do on this side of the ball is going to significantly impact how well you can do it on the other side. 2nd down and 8. Pittsville trying to get to the other side of the field, and they will, and breaking through, trying to get past one more defender, going to get tackled there by Braxton Steiner, but that's a gain of about 20, 25 yards, and there's a flag now after the play was over. And we'll see if that's going to be on that Assumption lineman or what happened there. There was 2 players that got tangled up after the play and kind of went down to the ground together. And it is going to be, not sure if that was delay of game or personal foul. Either way, it's going to be even more yards being walked off there. It was a personal foul. So even though the running back fell down around the 22-yard line, just like that, the ball's at the 11-yard line. And if I'm doing my math correctly, that's now 35 penalty yards already just on this drive. Pittsville already moving the ball efficiently without those penalty yards, and cutting back one time, he's going to get stopped, but not before picking up about 6 or 7 yards.
Dawson Luther keeps the ball.
Excuse me, that was a few less than I thought. 5 yards on the play. It's a part of the field where my depth perception compared to where I am on the 50 and where the ball is there on the far end of the field gets a little bit blurred, but 2nd and 5 here with just about 8 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Luther lines up, 2 backs behind him. He's going to hand it off to one of them. And almost having him around the line, but able to break out of it there was Dalton Darr, and that's not going to make headlines, but getting 1 or 2 extra yards on that play certainly makes it easier. You'd love a 3rd and 3 over a 3rd and 5 any day. And certainly in this area of the field, you expect 4-down territory even if they don't pick this up. So this Assumption defense with their backs against the wall early. Luther will take it himself, cutting up inside, diving for it. He's not going to get there, but he is going to get a 1st down. And so a very manageable 1st and goal here for Pittsville. And it's not necessarily going to be a 60-yard touchdown run that's always going to do it here for these Panthers, but they have been doing a great job the last couple games moving the ball systematically down the field. Certainly tiring for a team as small as Assumption's. And going into the end zone there for the touchdown, and that will kick things off offensively. And the first team on the board is the Pittsville Panthers, as Dawson Luther, no surprise there, picking up the touchdown. And add that to the tally of now 2 times I've accidentally said Pittsburgh. I'm going to try and hold that to 2, but it's just so difficult sometimes. I do apologize. And they will line up for the 2-point conversion. As Luther will hand it off, and in easily there for the 2-point conversion is Dalton Darr. And so the 1-yard rushing touchdown by Dawson Luther, and the 2-point conversion make it 8-0 as Pittsville looks to make a difference here in enemy territory. They have certainly made their mark so far in this one. We'll be back after this on Zaleski Sports.
Get more sales, more customers, more employees, more community support. Let Zaleski Sports help you today. Our advertising rates are less than what you have in your pocket now. People just like you watching this broadcast are your next customer or team member. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of making sure that our light continues to shine on these student athletes. Use the phone in your hand. Email us now.
Well, welcome back, and Pittsville scoring the first touchdown here of the game on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard. They lead 8-0. Chastain Hessley Insurance Agency is your full-service agency in Pittsville, offering auto, home, business, farm, and life insurance from a variety of companies, including Progressive. Whatever you need to protect, let them provide you with a free quote. Good luck, Panthers, from Chastain Hessley Insurance Agency, serving all central Wisconsin with offices in Pittsville and Loyal. I'll say one more time, my apologies, Chastain Hessley Insurance Agency. And so Assumption back on offense here as you get a little bit of a taste of what this Pittsville offense can do. And this Assumption Royals team, like I've talked about, does not want to get behind in this game, as their running game is pretty much everything we've seen throughout the course of the season. Even when they have been down by multiple touchdowns, they pretty much stick with that running game all the way through. And rather than trying to go through the air very often, they most likely will try with some more interesting plays, some tosses, some handoffs to the outside, much like that one, as it is going to be a pickup of about 6 there by Camden Martin.
2nd and 4.
And we see Camden Martin a lot on those jet sweeps, those runs to the near far side of the field. And when it's not Braxton Steinert running that option, it's usually him. So we'll see him a lot throughout the course of this one, as that sets up a 2nd and 4, and that's the kind of yardage they need on those first downs with their style of running the football. And Steinert trying to take it himself here, and he will get there, and he is going to cut up and almost had the speed, but was able to be pushed out of bounds that time right around the 44-yard line. There was a second there where I was wondering if he was going to be able to slip through, but there was too much on that side of the ball defensively, or on that side of the field. He was kind of walking that tightrope as well, so lost a little bit of speed that time. But even so, a good pickup there of about 10, 15 yards, and it will set up a first down on the 44-yard line of Assumption. Camden Martin lined up behind Cornwell. It will be Martin taking this one, and the ball is free. It's going to be picked up. Who else but Luther to grab it, and he might be off to the races, and he is. Touchdown, Pittsville.
Fumble on the play, recovered and returned.
Absolutely brutal cough up by the Assumption Royals, but how about the wherewithal to see that on the ground, not just fall on top of it, but to scoop and score. And just like that, 14-0 for the Panthers, with still only 5:34 remaining in the first quarter. Wish I could have seen who it was that poked that free, because it was kind of a big mass of guys right there in the middle of the field. It was kind of that situation where Camden Martin was trying to work his way through multiple different players at once and wasn't quite sure who popped it up, but still, when it comes to those big impact plays, it feels like certain players just have magnetic hands and they get the ball in those situations, as Luther will jump in, and he will be the one to take it in himself as well for the 2-point conversion. And so Luther is the one in the end zone for both of the first 2 touchdowns of the game here for the Pittsville Panthers. And they lead 16-0 here on Zaleski Sports.
Wirtz & Company of Wisconsin Rapids is ready to construct your dreams. Wirtz & Company will give you peace of mind with that much-needed roof repair. Have a remodel dream for what used to be your favorite room in the house? Living area, kitchen, bath, bedroom. If you can dream it, Wirtz & Company will make it come true. Wirtz & Company will also build your next home. Wirtz & Company of Wisconsin Rapids, 715-213-1281, and Wirtz & Company on Facebook.
The Auto Service Specialist at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service can change your oil, fix your brakes, align your vehicle, make that check engine light go away, and more. Great service from great people at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
Food and fun are the features at Horsin' Around downtown Pittsville. Stop in for daily food specials like $2 burgers on Tuesdays and their Friday fish fry. There's great food and fun at Horsin' Around downtown Pittsville. Check them out on Facebook. And it's plenty of fun for Pittsville here so far tonight as they're up 16-0. If you're just joining us, you have already missed a lot, but happy that you're here. As good return that time by Martin. He's trying to make up for the fumble on that last possession. It's one of those tough ones where you're working your way through. You've got guys on all sides, and you're just trying to work through for a few more yards, and it's just so easy for one of those players to come up behind, or however it played out. Again, I didn't see exactly how the ball came out because there was that horde of guys around him, but all it takes is one guy to just have a little extra punch to the ball. As you're thinking a little bit too much about getting a few more yards and a little bit too little about keeping that ball safe. And this is a Pittsville team that when they take those opportunities, they run with them, and quite literally ran with that one to the end zone. Cornwell picks up 1 yard on that one. So like I said, if you're just joining us, a lot happened as Assumption had a 3-and-out before Pittsville had a nice long systematic drive down the field. And then the Camden Martin fumble was unfortunate for him because he had picked up about 7 yards on the play. It was going to be right around midfield, and it looked like Assumption was moving the ball pretty efficiently in the first couple plays of that drive. Steinert had just broken off a 15-yard run, and so they got to shake off that negative momentum, and this one just a bit too high for Camden Martin. He would have been wide open there for a gain of most likely 7 or 8. Might have been able to even dive close to the first down, but instead it's too high for him to grab. And it will set up a 3rd and long. Those 3rd and longs, not what you want to see for an Assumption team that does not air the ball out often. And it's not that they can't air the ball out. It's just that it's difficult for them to when it's an expected play. You know, they can catch a team off guard with some passes down the field, but it's really hard for them to push the ball downfield when the defense is expecting and rushing. Instead, they'll hand it off here to Martin. He is going to fall forward for a few more yards. And decision time here as we have a 4th and about 5 on that play.
4th down and 4.
And even closer to 4 on that one. It's difficult to send the punting unit out in this kind of a situation. You're already down 16. You've got the ball on the Pittsville side of the field. So far, with as well as the Panthers have been moving the ball offensively, field position isn't really much of a game as you thought it was going to going in. And so best to try and get some points on the board here early on. Still 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Steinert's got 2 backs behind him. Steinert's going to take it himself, and he is going to slice through defenders and pick up the first down. Steiner putting the team on his back, and those are the kind of things he's going to have to do consistently in this game against a high-powered offensive team. We've seen in multiple occasions, especially against in that Iola Scandinavia game, Braxton Steinert facing or staring down a very good quarterback on the other side of the ball and not afraid. And he's going to have to do the same thing here tonight, certainly capable of it. as we'll continue to see throughout the course of this one. But it will be a first down, a big sigh of relief for Assumption to be able to continue this drive right around the 41 of the Panthers. And handing this one off, getting nowhere that time. It's a good play that time by Pittsville D-line, as looked like it was Carter Kiefer that got to that running back first. So that will be a 2nd and 9, under 3 to go now in the first quarter on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard. Steiner getting his battle orders from head coach Jeff Sullivan. Cornwell as the single back. Tight formation here for the Royals, as it's going to be handed off to Cornwell, and he's going to muscle past some defenders, and that's what they needed on that play to set up a much more manageable third down. And it's just those handoffs in this tight formation so interesting, because it almost feels like Cornwell has the ball and is moving past Steinert before he even hands the ball off, and it just creates such an extra step or two ahead, where it feels like he's starting to work past that first line of defense on the D-line before the ball is fully in his hands. 3rd and 5 from the 36, as it's going to be handed off once more. Not able to get there. A pickup of only 1 there, as this time they're going to go with Kalen Ott. 4th and 4. And if they went for it on that last one, certainly expecting them to again from the 35. And a lot of times on these plays, just like the last one, we have seen Steiner with that option to the left or the right. And a lot of times you'll see that option to flip the ball behind him or to the side of him to another player. And we'll see there's a little bit of space on the far side of the football right now. Instead, they will toss it out wide to Martin. He is going to get close, but the initial marking looks like he is about a full yard short. And that is going to be a turnover on downs. C&D Auto Body Repair and Sales is your complete auto body repair shop. They provide free estimates and guarantee complete satisfaction. They'll work with your insurance company to make it easy for you and do windshield glass installation too. Contact Chad and Dan at C&D Auto today on County Trunk E in Arpin.
Results in a turnover on downs.
And so with that turnover on downs, Pittsville in the driver's seat early on in this game. Assumption trying to get in the end zone there and trying to make it a one-possession game. But Pittsville's defense standing strong, as this will be a pickup of another 5 or 6. So far, Luther with both touchdowns, 1 on offense, 1 on defense for this Pittsville team.
Dawson Luther with the carry, picks up 6.
Hard to believe that with the first quarter almost coming to an end here, this is only the second Pittsville offensive drive that we've seen so far in this one. Despite the score you see on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard. And this will most likely be the last play of the first quarter if they even need to get it off. And they don't need to. They're just trying to catch them offside, and they won't do it. So we will switch sides here and gear up for the second quarter. 16-0 on the scoreboard, as the away Pittsville Panthers trying to spoil things for Assumption. Second quarter coming up here on Zaleski Sports.
At R&R Flooring and Furniture, we sell products that look good and products that last.
You want a great selection at a great price and a company that stands behind their products? You will find Wolfcraft, Ashley, Marshfield Furniture, and more.
Looking to get the best sleep of your life? we have a mattress for you. Get a 15-year non-paraded high-bred mattress for only 25 cents a night, and we also carry adjustable beds. When it comes to flooring, furniture, and mattresses, it's easy. Come to R&R Flooring and Furniture today. That's all it takes.
Northwoods Windows has been helping homeowners all over central and northern Wisconsin with replacement windows, patio entry doors, and more. We've done installations in over 10,000 homes, including cottages, churches, and businesses. Our installers are trained, experienced professionals, and we're an authorized dealer of home improvement products from some of the top manufacturers. We offer free in-home consultations, no-pressure sales, honest pricing, and a job well done. Contact Northwood Windows today and see why you should choose us.
Tabby's Blue Bayou backs the Pittsville Panthers. Stop in for some appetizers and a cold beverage after the game or anytime. Pizza, pretzels, nachos, and other snacks await you at Tabby's Blue Bayou in Pittsville or order for delivery with DoorDash. Start of the second quarter here from Wisconsin Rapids is going to be handed off and stopped right around the line to gain, or excuse me, the line of scrimmage, I should say, for a gain of about 1. That'll set up a third and about 3. So we have a player temporarily down, but it looks like he is making his way back up, and he looks to be, and oh no, this does not look good, as might have been a potential actually, no, I apologize. I initially was worried that it was going to be a head injury because he kind of was waving his head around and looked almost a little bit wobbly and had to go to a knee, but looked like it was just a limp, which still definitely not good, but head injury is always the primary concern, as lights just went off on us here in the press box. So hopefully I can read my names here, as cutting to the near side of the field, breaking past multiple defenders. What a run that time for Christian Matthews. And he was able to speed past that first line of defense, and he was gone, or almost gone. And just like that, the ball at the 27-yard line in Assumption territory. And that's how quickly Pittsville can flip the script on you. And the first big run of the game we've seen for Christian Matthews, he listed as a wide receiver, but you see him a lot on those jet sweeps and end arounds. As this one's going to be tossed now to Dar, who's going to get tripped up, but still able to pick up a few yards on the play. And when you can avoid those negative plays to such a high degree, it's really difficult to consistently get a team down when you aren't stopping them and don't have the benefit of those 2nd and 12s or 2nd and 15s to reset things for your defense. And so might only be a gain of 2, but certainly those are the plays that end up making a difference in the long run. Luther with a man to his left. He is going to take it himself, cut to the far side of the field, and he's going to be stopped. Set up a 3rd and medium.
Dawson Luther keeps the ball, picks up 1.
And there might have been a tackle by Steinert on that play. So Pittsville trying to make another statement here to start off the second quarter. They also get the ball at the start of the second half. And so Assumption trying to make a stand here on the defensive side of the ball. As Luther once again lining up, this time Dar to his right. This time he will drop back, escaping pressure. He's got room, and he is going to escape, and he is going to try and sidestep another defender. He doesn't quite get to the end zone, but he gets close all the way to the 4-yard line. Another impact play by Dawson Luther. And as soon as he escaped that one edge rusher on that side, everyone in the stadium knew he was getting close to the end zone, having that breakaway speed it's just impossible to corral him. And you get kind of surprised by a potential pass play. The first real pass attempt actually dropping back of the game for either team. As Luther will take it himself, and he is going to spin into the end zone. Third touchdown of the game for Luther, his second on offense. And it's 22-0. 8:45 remaining in the second quarter on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard. Silencing this Assumption crowd as it now becomes a 3-possession game. Of course, going for 2 once more. And cutting up and into the end zone for the 2-point conversion is Dalton Darr. And so 24-0 in favor of Pittsville here from Wisconsin Rapids. And I'd like to remind you that Bucks and Berries Cafe in Babcock is the place to go for signature pies and homemade food. Check out their daily specials and Friday fish fry. It's a cozy family fun atmosphere at Bucks and Berries Cafe, open 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week on Highway 80 in Babcock and on Facebook. We'd also like to thank Wisconsin River Orthopedics. For all of your orthopedic needs, place your trust in Wisconsin River Orthopedics. You'll find advanced, comprehensive orthopedic care and specialized medical feedback on any injury. Learn more at WROinstitute.com. And also Wirtz & Company of Wisconsin Rapids. They're ready to reconstruct your dreams. If you can dream it, Wirtz & Company will make it come true. Wirtz & Company of Wisconsin Rapids, 715-213-1281 and Wirtz & Company on Facebook. And that's construct your dreams, not reconstruct your dreams. Hopefully your dreams do not need reconstruction. Metalco in Wisconsin Rapids is also one of North America's largest aluminum, belay, and slab producers. Come get to know Metalco and how their missions, values, and values set them, their mission, visions, and values, that's a tongue twister, set them apart. Find your future job at Metalco and apply online at metalco.com. And so Assumption having some work to do here, down 3 possessions in the second quarter, and really have not had much of a chance to really hit the ground running here. They started off with kind of a rough first drive, and then they had one drive that looked promising, resulted in that fumble, and then the last drive, they were able to get a nice long drive down the field, just not quite able to punch it in for the score. And they're building up offensive momentum, but it's just not quick enough with how quickly Pittsville on the other side of the ball is moving things. Is able to get a few yards there. Gain of about 5 to the Assumption 40-yard line. And gets pushed out of bounds to set up second down. And so I mentioned not wanting to get behind early on in the game. Now that Assumption can't quite avoid that, the next step really is to kind of decide what you want to do as a team, if you want to stick with what you know the foundation of your team is, or if you want to start taking some risks in this second quarter. They are going to hand the ball off here to Martin. And that's the thing we've seen. Like I said, them continue to work the ball down the field efficiently. Just so much time taken off the clock later on in the game, definitely going to be a factor. And on top of that, you have to find at least ways to keep up with Pittsville on the other side of the ball, because then you can see what you can do to try and get a few stops defensively. But you have to at least start putting some pressure on this Pittsville team. You can benefit from a long, methodical drive here that, at the very least, can start to tire out some of these Pittsville players that play both sides of the ball. Steinert will take it himself, and he almost was able to break free for a few more yards there. Can't quite pick up the first down. And it will set up a 3rd and 4. But they're able to get to Pittsville territory here, 49-yard line. As we're about now 7.5 minutes and ticking here in the second quarter. Again, Pittsville gets the ball to start the second half. Certainly still time left to make a statement here for the Royals. Dropping back here is Steinert, airing it out, and it's not going to find a intended receiver there. It was intended initially for Reed Sauter, or Sauter, excuse me.
Pass falls incomplete. 3rd down.
And it was just kind of one that was a little too far out there. On top of that, kind of well contested, and turning his head around wasn't there for him. And actually that will set up the 3rd and 4, so I apologize. That initial run was on first down. The marker was just not flipped, and so that last play was 2nd and 4, and now 3rd and 4 on this play. Steinert will take it himself to the far side of the field. He's going to pick up the first down and get pushed out of bounds, picking up an extra 3 or 4 more after that. Gain of 6 or 7, and that'll be a first down around the 42-yard line. So finding their footing here more and more offensively as the game goes on. And we've seen both sides of the coin here for Assumption. They found themselves down early on in that game against Iola Scandinavia, and they were able to battle their way back. Same tight formation here on first down, middle of the way through the second quarter. Handing this one off to Cornwell. He's able to break past one defender, and he's going to make one cut. He's got a couple more defenders to try and beat. Breaks past one of them, and he is in the end zone. And just like that, we have a spark for this Assumption Royals team as Wiley Cornwell runs for about 40 yards and the touchdown. On a play where he initially was stonewalled at the line, he was able to push past that defender, or push away from that defender, cut upfield to the far end, and he is able to get past every defender multiple times. I thought he was going to eventually be stopped. He tight ropes the line and uses that mixture of speed and size to get past those defenders. And they're going to now go for 2. Cutting it back, and Martin can't quite get there. And so it will remain a 3-possession game here in the second quarter, but certainly some optimism here for this Assumption team as Wiley Cornwell puts the team on his back. And we will be right back here on Zaleski Sports for another Pittsville possession.
My grandparents worked so hard their whole life to keep things nice. You want to make sure that you're getting the job done correctly. At no point did I feel like I wasn't being handled by professionals. They were literally taking it on a surgical level, it seemed. Like they were very, very thorough on every step. I feel like Infinity treated my family with the same respect they would have treated their own. I feel like my house is brand new again.
Welcome back here to Wisconsin Rapids. For 90 years, Valley Communities Credit Union has been part of your hometown team. They are local, trusted, and strong. Valley Communities Credit Union, where community comes first. Federally insured by NCUA. Zaleski Sports also brought to you by Infinity Exteriors, installing peace of mind, roofing, siding, and windows built to last. Saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors, we guarantee quality you can trust. And so as Assumption trots their way back out onto the field, we've talked so much throughout the course of this season about how Braxton Steinert and Camden Martin are the outside runners, the guys that can use their speed to make an impact, and Wiley Cornwell is that one-dimensional runner that can just power past you and eat up yards. And I have to offer him an apology because his game is more nuanced than that. As well as he is, as powerful as a running back he is, able to power through the line as many times as he does throughout the course of the game, he certainly can cut the ball upfield, and he's got plenty of speed to boot. And we saw that in that last run, 40-yard touchdown run for Wiley Cornwell. And so returning this one here for Pittsville, able to almost break out of that one, but instead gets wrapped up well by the special teams unit. And so Pittsville, for the first time, having to come out and respond to a little bit of pressure. They still do have the 3-possession lead as the Royals were not able to convert on the 2-point conversion. But they, for the first time, are seeing their defense get tested a little bit here, and they're going to try and respond themselves. As Assumption, they gave up a touchdown on that last possession, but there definitely were points where they had a little bit of their backs against the wall, Pittsville did, as they had some thirds and mediums, some even longs. So Assumption needs to just find some ways to put everything together and get their defense off the field, as sneaking forward for a gain of about 3 or 4 there, as we are seeing still about half the time on the clock here in the second quarter, 6:30 and counting. Still plenty of time for both sides here as Assumption's trying to make their mark. Pittsville trying to prove that they're still very much in control of this game. Again, they have the ball at the beginning of the second half. And so to be able to have a nice, long, methodical drive here, try and take the majority of this time off the clock and score and then get the ball after the half would be, I don't want to say a nail in the coffin, but would certainly be huge for this team, as getting taken down after a gain of just about 1 is Luther. And now we see once again, this Assumption team has been able to get into these situations over the last couple of drives, but can they follow through here and force a 4th down? Pittsville taking a while to talk things through here. See if they decide to elect for a timeout here, because they already took some time to talk about this, and now Luther making his way over to talk about it on the sideline. I can't imagine they have a whole lot of time left on the play clock. And they will eventually take the timeout. They'll talk about it here, and this is a very big 3rd down for the rest of this game. As they talk things over, we'll thank Ritchie Funeral Home, who's been serving family after family in Nakusa and Wisconsin Rapids since 1957. Find the very best in personal service at Ritchie Funeral Home, or find them online at ritchiefuneralhome.com. Econ Electric is your local residential, commercial, and industrial electric service provider. Since 1970, people have turned to Econ Electric. That's Econ Electric in Wisconsin Rapids. And just like these players bring their best to the field, Ridgetop Exteriors brings top-tier performance to your home. Roofing, siding, windows, and doors, Ridgetop Exteriors has the winning strategy to protect your home. Visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Zaleski Sports also brought to you by Nakusa Port Edward State Bank, proudly supporting our local athletes and their families. From business to personal banking and everywhere in between, let Nakusa Port Edward State Bank work for you. And finally, Mutual of Wausau Insurance, protecting homes, farms, and businesses since 1875. Visit mutualofwausau.com to find an agent near you. And so both teams coming back out for a very important 3rd and 4 here with 5:09 remaining in the second quarter. Assumption coming off of their first offensive score of the game, their first points on the board. Trying to dig into this Pittsville lead. getting stuck behind the line, but able to power forward to get close there. Don't think they got it, but it's huge to be able to get that close. And
Dawson Luther with the carry.
That will create a 4th and very short. So there was a point there where Luther was stopped about 3 or 4 yards short and able to just get enough to make this easy. And are they going to give him the first down here? They are. And that did not look close enough for the first down to me. But the chain gang disagrees, and it's a first down. From the initial marking, looked like he was a full half-yard short, but maybe just the ball was put in the wrong place. As Luther will take it himself now on first down, able to sideswipe one defender and is able to get a couple yards there. Good job by Luther to avoid the sack, but still a nice play as Steinert was eventually able to chase him down. It was also Brennan Moorbacher who was able to race to that play there. And so 2nd and 8. Luther will toss to the outside and losing the football. And it looks like Pittsville's going to get this ball back. They have to thank their lucky stars for that one. That's the kind of play that can really flip a game on its head. And could have really gotten Assumption back into this one if they had fallen on top of that or even tried to scoop it. But fortunately for the Panthers, there really was no one else in the area and was able to run and dive on top of it. And so 3rd and 7 now from the 49-yard line. One of the very few negative plays. Or actually, no, that wasn't even a negative play. Still gained a yard on the fumble. Luther will drop back, facing pressure, able to work his way out of it. Falls forward, still gains a yard or two, but it will be 4th down from right around midfield. And we'll see what Pittsville decides to do here. And this certainly could be a situation where you want to just flip field position. Still only have 3 minutes left in this first half. You can give the ball back to Assumption with just over 2 minutes left to go and make them traverse the entire field. But it looks like they are going to go for it. Certainly have trust in Luther here. You've got a receiver towards the near side of the field here on your screen. Looks like he could cut to the near side and be wide open, but now a timeout called. And gotta be honest, as we'll stay with you close to the end of the half here, if I am Pittsville, I punt this ball away. You know, you're up by 18, you're up by 3 possessions. Worst case scenario, you punt the ball, in this Assumption team, they had their first score of the whole game on that last drive. They'd have to go 80 yards as a team that really only rushes the football, and you've got just over 2 minutes left to go. Very unlikely they'd make it down the field in time unless they break another long one. And if you go for this and don't pick it up, you're certainly giving them a much better chance to score. And when your team's up by 3 possessions, I just don't see the chance in taking that kind of a risk, or I don't see the point anyway in taking that kind of risk. But also, you do have Dawson Luther and plenty of playmakers on that side of the football going up against a team in Assumption that's already, I'm sure, very gassed, having played both sides of the football for 30 minutes, or 24 minutes, I should say. And so they do decide, it looks like, to go the punting route. And they are going to punt this one away, and this one is going to find the back of the end zone for the touchback. And so good decision there by Pittsville to not take that chance. And so Assumption will take over here with 2:16 left to go. We'll see if they can break a few and get close to scoring here at the end of the half. But Rapid Sheet Metal Heating and Cooling places your comfort at home as their highest priority. Not too hot, not too cold. That's the plan with Rapid Sheet Metal in Wisconsin Rapids. Give them a call or find them online at rapidsheetmetal.com. And so this Assumption team able to make a big stop here late in the first half. But that doesn't change the fact that they are running out of time early in this game, already down multiple possessions, and Pittsville gets the ball back after the half. They're going to have to find some way to make something happen here, as this one's going to be handed off to Cornwell. He makes more men miss, and going out of bounds with the clock stopped, finds his way all the way to the 34-ish yard line here. And so you only take about 6 seconds left on the clock here. So 2:10 left on the clock still, all the way now up to the 32-yard line. Cornwell certainly has been the player to watch so far here tonight. And Steinert has to roll out and will throw this one. It's going to be caught out of bounds. And so solid effort that time. It looked like it was Trey France on that potential reception.
Pass is ruled out of bounds.
But he is out of bounds. And so 2nd and 10. Good job by Steinert to even try and make something out of that play. It looked like he was getting chased down, just trying to avoid the sack. I expected him to either run out of bounds or just get rid of that one, but almost made a play out of it. 2:04 now to go, 2nd and 10. Handing this one off once more to Cornwell, and he's able to get another, it's like 5 or 6 yards.
Well, they Cornwell the carry.
And they're going to go back into the huddle. They can't take too much time here, though. Although, you now get into a situation where you don't really want to give the ball back to Pittsville if you don't get this. So it's kind of a weird situation in terms of time management. Got another tight formation here for Assumption. 1:30 left to go. Cutting it to the near side of the field, picking up the first down and then some. He cuts back in instead of running out of bounds. And so you'd expect Assumption to either take a timeout here. There is the few seconds of grace time here for the first down reset. Got the ball around the 46-yard line as we're about 1:15 and counting now left in the first quarter. Steinert now rolling out to the far side of the field, looking for potential options, tossing this one up, and it's going to be incomplete. And so exactly a minute to go here in the first half. And so the Camden Martin not running out of bounds, ending up not being too big of a deal considering the Assumption Royals do still have all 3 of their timeouts left. So they do get the ball back here on the Pittsville side of the field. We'll see if Steinert continues to try and throw the ball here. Cornwell is lined up in the backfield. They'll pretend to toss this one instead. Steinert rolls back out. The diving attempt by Martin, and he can't quite haul it in. And just like that, 3rd and long. And that one, you know, there's only so many places you can put that ball if you're Steinert. Rolling out to the near side, you're just trying to get something going as you're about to run out of bounds, and you put it in probably the best pocket you could, but you just put so much zing on that ball as Martin is trying to keep his feet inbounds at the same time, diving for the ball. He's got someone draped on him, just kind of a difficult situation for both players involved in that one. 55 seconds left to go here on 3rd and long. And they will try for the toss, losing the football. Pittsville is going to fall back on top of it. And just as I was about to start talking about potential field position and whether you go for a chance and throw the ball on 4th and 10, ends up not being a factor. Pittsville now getting the ball back on Assumption's side of the field, right around the 49, and still 51 seconds left to go. Disaster for Assumption. It looked like they really had something going there. Potential to try and take a few more shots. And now Pittsville back on the offensive, up 3 possessions, ball back at the end, or at the beginning of the second half, and they have all the momentum once more. Luther, he's going to drop back. He's going to roll out, sidesteps a few defenders, falls for about 2 yards as the clock will continue to run. We'll see up 18 if Pittsville decides to just run this clock out. I'm sure a lot of us would love to see what happens if Luther tries to air this one out. We saw him throw some absolute dots from about 30, even 40 away in warm-ups. And we'll see if they try and go deep for one play here. Got 3 wideouts on the near side of the field. He escapes pressure one more time. He's going to get to around the 35-yard line, but that's going to do it for the end of the half. And so at halftime, Pittsville comes into enemy territory, and they lead 24-6 going into the locker room. And they will get the ball at the end of the half as the band makes its way out onto the field. We'll send you to some commercial messages. And actually, it's going to be a presentation of one of our Hard Knocks series here at the halftime break. So enjoy that, and we'll be back with more football here on Zaleski Sports in about 10-15 minutes.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hard Knocks on Zaleski Sports is presented by Security Health Plan. SecurityHealth.org is your portal to find your plan, a doctor, prescription tools, and more. For 24/7 access and all the tools and resources needed to improve your well-being, right at your fingertips, visit SecurityHealth.org.
Set the tone for how the day is going to go right now. This needs to be aggressive. If you want any shot of beating Oliva, it starts right now, and you need to be aggressive. Get after each other. If we're not going hard enough, then we'll find a way to go hard, and it's not going to be by doing this. Here we go. Let's set that in. Left. Go, sir. Go. Good. Now, Coach Crow, I want you to listen to this. I hate this. My inside backers. If the quarterback just opens to your side, so he doesn't pivot out. Yeah, I know. So in this case, he did that, right? So he just did this and opened to your side. As soon as you see that, you just scream at that fullback. You good with that? Yeah. Okay.
That's all they got their eyes on, these two guys right here.
And then you are scraping. Okay? You're scraping. You're not going through to go find him. You scrape down. You shuffle down this way.
You find a hole.
Okay, here we go.
Left. Left. Go, Shane. Go.
That away, Rex. That away. Nice job.
I'll be just fine.
Good. Left.
No.
Left.
We have a motion on this? Yeah.
Yep, that one.
Go, Shane.
Rex, okay? And I want you to worry about the C gap, okay? And trust that Rex will get it done. All right, here we go. Left to left here. Down, down, down. Left to left. Go, Shane! Go! Left, left. Ready. Go, Shane! Go! Hey! Three more this direction. Yeah.
Coach Bolt and the Beavers prepare for another tough Dairyland Conference opponent, this time in Oliva Strum. They work on offensive and defensive sets, and also worked on drills among their different position groups.
You're fine right there. Motion! Defense on three! 1, 2, 3, defense! Wait, I'll get there. It's got to be in sync. Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's... No, I don't think too much about it.
Yeah. That's it. Eyes on me. Better. All right, nice job, James. Here we go. Full speed now.
No, it's too high.
Here in center. All right, linebackers over here. Okay, we got both outside linebackers now. Okay, all right. So you get you're an inside linebacker. So we'll work. We're going to just work the inside linebackers here. So you get at center. You're at center. Just working inside linebackers here. You get there. Okay. All right. Now in our 4-4. Okay. That guard right here has got to block our tackle. So who's going to block you? So if they're coming your way, that center can come right out there. So you have to defeat that block. So who are you? You got your eyes on the screen. Right. So as soon as he steps to you, so if he steps that way, he's going that way. So you're coming hard and you're going to fill. So your natural, and this is easy for you because you're filling that A gap right away, and then Beavers on 3.
1, 2, 3, Beavers!
And back to pass. Man wide open. And that's a touchdown for the Cardinals.
But now, Augusta will have their best opportunity of the season as they travel to Independence to face the struggling Indies.
What's up, guys? This is Colton Wincey, Augusta football. I'm a senior defensive back, and this is a day in the life. So, it's like 6:45 right now. I just woke up. I'm probably gonna brush my teeth, get some food, and go to school. Alright, so just arrived at school. I'll head in and get some work done. Alright, we just got done with the first hour. About to head to the library for a couple hours. Probably just watch some film or something. Maybe get some work done or take a nap. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're in the library right now. I'm watching some film. Making sure to stay hydrated before the game. Alright. Just arrived in English class.
Selling chocolate?
We have Miss Bolt here. Say hello, Miss Bolt.
Hi. Hola.
Miss Bolt wants to say hi. This is the coach's wife right here.
Hi. See, look, Mrs. Bolt.
Yeah, there it is. Alright, we're in gym class here. Owen Lee. We got Owen Lee right here, number 2.
Right.
So, what's your prediction for the game tonight? I gotta ask some people what they think. Just what do you think's gonna happen?
I hope we win.
Alright, do you have any goals?
To have an interception.
How many?
Score the ball on offense.
Sounds like a good prediction. How much are we gonna win by, you think? 6.
I hope we win by, well, it'll probably be a close game. So, say we win by 6.
Heard it from the man himself here, Owen Himley. Alright. So, just got done in gym class. Played some lacrosse. I'm not very good at it. We got Isaac Mooney right here, walking down. Alright, we got Isaac Mooney here. So, Mooney, what's your prediction for the game tonight? I gotta been asking people around what they think's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, like what do you think the score's gonna be?
Just wait. I think we're gonna run it up. We're gonna run it 38-6.
I like that. What do you have any goals for the game?
3 picks and a pick 6. I'm gonna win.
I like that. Alright, man. I better see 3 picks, a touchdown, and a win. Alright, we got Dylan Dirks here, eating his food. How you feeling before the game?
Locked in.
You feeling locked in? That's good, that's good. What you eating there, huh?
Chester's chicken.
That gonna help? That gonna help? Sounds
Dude,
good.
it's elite energy, bro.
What's your prediction for the game?
We're gonna get the dub.
How much?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 22.
What the heck?
Okay. Do you have any personal goals for the game?
5 tackles.
Okay.
At least 1 TFL.
Yep.
And positive yards rushing.
Alright, yeah, that's good, that's good. We got James Showing here, QB1, number 4 right here. So, just had to ask you, what's your prediction for the game tonight? Are we gonna win or lose?
24-8.
Win? I bet.
Yeah.
What's your goals for the game?
Not throw an interception.
I bet. How many touchdowns are you gonna throw though?
Throw?
Yeah, throw. Maybe.
Probably 2.
All right. Yeah, that's valid. QB1 here in the building. Leo.
Yo, what's up?
Prediction for the game tonight on the bench.
Prediction for the what?
For the game tonight on the bench.
Honestly, the Augusta Beavers looking pretty good. Working on pass coverage for last week or so.
Yep.
Indy likes to chuck the ball around a lot.
They do.
Colton Wincey, he gets head tapped quite a lot. I'm not sure how
Right.
he'll perform tonight.
Every game.
Every game.
Do you have any goals?
So far.
Do you have any goals for the game?
Any goals? Honestly, like 3 picks by the end of the game. when the quarterback's under pressure, he tends to chuck the ball up, add some arc to that thing. So hopefully,
If you're out there, you got that.
Yeah, we getting under tonight.
Yeah.
Getting down.
All right, just got out of school. Gotta wait out here for the bus with everybody. Bus is at like 4:20. I'm gonna go get some food and then hop on the bus. We're on the bus. About to get hype. You get this win? Let's go.
Welcome to Independence, Wisconsin, nestled in the cornfields, where the Independence Gilmanton Indies host the Augusta Beavers in Dairyland Conference football. Independence coming into today with an 0-4 record. Augusta 0-5 on the season. We're at the midway point. Dan Lau on play-by-play tonight, along with Isaac Eagle, my producer. Thank you for joining us this evening. Augusta is coached by Derek Bolt, and they will be playing Independence on their homecoming. Good crowd this evening. Back to kick, and boom, we're underway here. And I believe that was Wincy on the return. He gets it to about his 30-yard line, where James Shong and the Beavers will set up on offense. And Augusta is going to have to punt it away. Isaac Mooney out there. Back to pass, and that's picked off by Atchison. Low snap. He can't pick it up, and that's a tackle made by Chase Price, and Augusta will have good field position. Handoff, and the ball came out. That's Solberg. Slobby keeps himself, and that's how the half ends. Augusta 0, Independence 0.
Tackled by Lee.
Both teams will regroup at the half. I'll be under center, 2 men behind him. He's back to pass, however. A short pass and a reception. And just tackled inside the 15. That was Klimek with the reception and the big yak from Klimek. The yards after the catch run. Klimek in motion. Slobby looking his way. Escapes a tackle. Keeps it.
Slobby's going to keep it. He's going to be pushed out right around the 9-yard line.
And that's a loss.
He's going to come up short.
It'll be a turn.
Well, welcome back, everyone, to Wisconsin Rapids, as we are getting just about ready in the next 3 minutes here to kick off the second half and take a look at some of the scores around the league and also talk about tonight's game so far. As really, it's one of those games, you know, you've got a 24-6 score going into the second half, and you'd expect that this game was absolutely one-sided, that one side of the ball absolutely dominated, that one team could do pretty much nothing on the offensive side of the ball, and it really is a closer game than meets the eye. Obviously, the score is all that matters when you're talking about a football game, but you take a look at how Assumption's been playing so far in this game. They give up a tough fumble when they're working their way nicely down the field. That could have been a situation where they could have scored. And then the rest of these possessions, you know, you give up the fumble later on in that series at the end of the half, but for the most part, it's been pretty much working your way down the field and not quite being able to finish. Multiple times, multiple possessions in this one so far. Assumption's been right around the 30, the 20-yard line, and has been a couple first downs away from getting this ball in the end zone, and they just have not been able to get past that final hurdle. And it feels like their running game has sputtered out just at the last second when they've been trying to make their mark to try and get back into the game. And as well as Pittsville's offense has been playing, I mean, they got one scoop and score for a touchdown. It's been 2 touchdowns offensively for Pittsville this entire game, and they've played a phenomenal game so far, but certainly had Assumption been able to score some of those possessions where they were close to the end zone but couldn't quite get there, this would be a much different ball game. Obviously, it's close, you know, what's the saying, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but it's just kind of an idea of what you should expect in the second half, and that Assumption can find a way to mount this comeback, but it's going to be an insanely high uphill climb with how much they're down and with being on defense to start off this game. Certainly tough, not impossible, but certainly something that's going to be difficult for them in this second half. But taking a look here, we've got some good games going on here on Zaleski Sports. The top one being a number 16 versus 17 matchup here on our schedule. It's Abbotsford going up against Auburndale, as we take a little hunt to see how that game is going. And it is never the top one. If you bring up the game and then you immediately start to look for it, it's going to be about 10 down. That's just not the way it works luck-wise. But 42-0. Auburndale defeating Abbotsford, or on top of Abbotsford, I should say. Can't say I expect a comeback there, but it is just crazy how you got those rankings. A 16 versus a 17, and the 17 is winning by that much. Any given Friday is the motto of high school football, and you can just never really know what to expect, as Abbotsford, you know, defeated Assumption pretty handily, and then just last week, Pittsville, after that historic performance by Dawson Luther, which if you missed that pregame, I was talking about that, 389 yards that Luther ran for as a quarterback last week, found the end zone 5 times and put the team on his back to almost defeat the 16th best team in the state from the Zaleski rankings. And now here's Auburndale, the team slightly ranked below them, defeating them 42-0, or beating them 42-0 so far late in the third quarter. So anything can happen in high school football, and that's what we love about it here on Zaleski Sports, as trying to return this one and getting slammed down right around the 38-yard line after forward progress is called. And so Pittsville back on the offensive to start off this second half. Get the best tire prices, period, during the factory direct tire sale at Sherrill Auto Tire and Auto Service. Up to $200 back by online or mail-in rebate on a select set of 4 Goodyear tires when you use the Goodyear credit card. On now at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. And so, 3 touchdowns in this game so far, all scored by Dawson Luther. Taking this one to the near side of the field is Dar, as he's going to pick up about 6 on the play. Luther ran for a 1-yard touchdown, punching it in, and then getting the 2-point conversion was Dar. And then he was able to pick up the scoop and score just a few plays later on the defensive side of the ball. And like I mentioned, even when it wasn't him that stripped the ball away, it just feels like he's got magnetic hands to get the ball and make something happen with it. And then he was the one to run it in on the other side of the football in the second quarter, and that leads to 24 points on the board for this offense as stonewalled at the line here. Good play by that Assumption D-line, as getting nowhere was Dalton Dar on that play. Set up a 3rd and 3. We've seen Assumption's defense stand a little bit taller in the later stages of that second quarter. They had a big stop to stall Pittsville right around the 45 midfield line in the second quarter, and that was near the end of the second quarter. That would have absolutely put the game away before this half even ended. But this Assumption defense standing a little bit stronger in the later stages here. Still a full half to go, as going back and airing this one out and almost intercepted. Couldn't quite get his hands on it, but that is going to set up a 4th and 3. You've got the ball right around the 45-yard line, and it was kind of around this area of the field where Pittsville decided to punt it at the end of the half, and we'll see what decision they make here. That last one, I believe, was a 4th and 4, maybe 4th and 5. This one's slightly closer, but they are still going to punt it away, it looks like. And again, when you're up by multiple scores like this, you just can't take that kind of a risk as much as you're tempted to with the offense you have. Got to send this one away. And Assumption, both of the last 2 times that this ball's been punted away, they have elected to not have a returner in the backfield. And last time it ended up in a touchback. This time it completely comes back to bite them. It was a good punt, and it rolls all the way right around the 1. It's exactly what you'd expect when you punt the ball and the other team doesn't have a return man back there. I can't say I understand that call. But now you've got the Assumption offense backed all the way up to the 1-yard line. And if you punt the ball away at the 40, I mean, that ball landed around the 25-yard line. You can catch that ball and get it all the way up to the 35, maybe even the 40. I understand you don't want to risk muffing the football, but now you put yourself, especially as a team that runs the football so downhill, in a very dangerous position. Steinert will take it himself, gets out of the end zone, cuts back for even more. He's going to pick up the first down and gets 5 more after that. And we have a player down for Assumption all the way back at around the 5-yard line. And that is not good. That is Camden Martin down there on the far side of the field. And we will take a step away and be back here on Zaleski Sports.
If you ask us, picking out new furniture should be fun, and when you work with us, it is. Home Furniture's free design assistance in your home or in our store. We make the process as easy as possible by helping you envision what your furniture and your room will look like. What inspires you? Visit Home Furniture today to create a single sofa or an entire room. We'll help you bring it all together. Dream it, create it, love it. Home Furniture's free design assistance, West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
Take your valuable possessions from outdoors to indoors with help from ShedsDelivered.com. It's your one-stop shop for sheds, barns, cabins, garages, greenhouses, chicken coops, and hunting blinds, all crafted by skilled Amish artisans. Headquartered in Loyal, Rod and April make it easy. Just visit ShedsDelivered.com to design your perfect structure. With short lead times and free delivery and installation, Sheds Delivered is the smart choice for outdoor storage. That's ShedsDelivered.com. Go today.
Welcome back. Well, we see good news for Assumption as Camden Martin's at least able to get up and walk off on his own power. The way he was grabbing that leg did not look good initially. Thankfully, again, you see no help needed to get off the field as he gets looked at. And we'll continue with this Assumption drive as back to reality here. Steinert picking up about 15 yards on the play, or actually closer to, right around 15. They were back up to the 1-yard line. They were quickly able to get out of that hole that was left for them after there was no punter back there and the ball got downed. And going forward here for a gain of about 1. I apologize for the brief pause here. I'm just pulling up the stream on my laptop here trying to see what did happen with Camden Martin. And it looked like he almost got tripped up by something. You saw him almost like flip up into the air quickly as if he got like completely tripped up on the play. And then kind of fell to the ground in a heap. And so it's possible he might have accidentally stepped on a player and then rolled something himself, but looked like his leg that was giving him problems. So he'll continue to get looked at. Hopefully he is okay. As now falling to the ground right around that line of scrimmage is Steinert.
Up a couple on the play. 3rd and 6.
as the trainers continue to work him out. Again, with the amount of pressure and the amount of weight they're putting on that leg, certainly does not look like it's anything serious, hopefully. Again, I am absolutely no doctor, but just going off of a lot of football I've watched over the course of my life so far, you see those positive signs of not too much damage done. And we have a third and about 6 here with 8 minutes to go in the third. And handing this one off and able to get pushed a few more yards and getting close there. 4th and 1 at about the 24-yard line. You wonder if you're at the stage of the game here where you might just want to go for this.
Be 4th and short for the Royals.
And with down 3 possessions, middle of the way through the third, it feels like you really have nothing to lose here and everything to gain, as you had a couple good plays there to start off that drive. And with this offense, with the way they've been running the ball here, it feels like they are always just 1 or 2 good plays away from breaking one. As we saw with Cornwell in the first half. As we see Camden Martin back onto the field, that's a tremendous sign for him and for the Royals. As Steinert will cut it back up, take it himself, and he will muscle forward. A strong play that time. And that's what you got to do. Steinert all season long has been putting his body on the line. We've seen him getting looked at about as much as any other player on the field this season, as he's been getting banged up. You know, he's a 5'7", 140 player, but he does not play like it. He's one of those players, he has no regard for what's going to happen to him once he's on the ground. He goes for every yard. He has way more power and strength in him than meets the eye, and that's what he's been showing for us all season long. And Steinert will take it himself once more and doesn't see a whole lot of real estate. The ball is fumbled, and does he get to it before it goes out of bounds? And yes, he did. An absolutely brutal blow for the Assumption Royals, as Steinert, we've seen that play so many times throughout the course of this season. Steinert rolling out to his right or to his left, and if he doesn't see something ahead of him, he will then flip it behind him and try and pick up the block. And I've thought it to myself, I didn't want to do the announcer's jinx, because there are multiple times this season where I thought, man, that could be catastrophic as if he flicks it behind him, because he has to throw it so far behind him. And surprised it hasn't happened at least one other time so far this year, not for any reason other than it just is a risky play in general, and it finally did happen in probably one of the worst possible moments on a first down. And so Pittsville gets the ball back and feels like there's only so many more possessions that Assumption has to try and mount a comeback here, especially now that they are on defense deep in their own territory.
Short gain on that play.
Short gain on that first play, 2nd and 9. Under 6 to go here on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard. Head coach Jeremy Dewar for this Pittsville team, along with a slew of assistant coaches, Peter Peterson, Charlie Hugesteiger, Tim Moore, and Mark Dennison. And falling forward for a gain of 1 or 2. Pittsville, this team looking for their first technical win in terms of game played this season. I shouldn't say technical because it's the opposite of technical. They technically do have 1 win on the season, but it was due to a forfeit. And so they're looking for the first game they've actually played this season that they've come away with a victory. But like we've talked about, this team is a much better team than their record because they've played some really good teams. They played Marathon, Auburndale, Edgard, and Abbotsford so far this season. Spencer Columbus was a very close one, and they almost defeated the number 16 team, Abbotsford, only losing by 8 last week. That will set up a 4th down here for the Pittsville Panthers and see what they decide to do here, because even up a few possessions, kind of a weird spot where you're not going to punt it away. You don't really have the kicker in high school football to go for this field goal, so it just feels like the only logical conclusion to go for it here. They're just trying to, right now at this point, just find that final nail to put in the coffin on what's been a great game for him so far. Luther will toss this one deep, and he had someone open. It was, looks like Cash Osterman. He was open. I just don't know if he expected the ball to come his way. It landed about 3 yards ahead of him, and had he been running full speed to it, that would have been a catch. And so, ball gets turned right back over here. Fill your home with the best from Home Furniture. Sofas, sectionals, beds, recliners, lighting, tables, rugs, and so much more. Home Furniture with locations on Grand Avenue in Wisconsin Rapids and Post Road in Plover. Every time I read that ad, I just want to start saying living rooms, bedrooms, dinettes. If you know that meme, you're about as old as I am. As we have 3:49 remaining in the third quarter, Steinert trying to take it himself. He'll pick up about 2 or 3 on the play. And there is a flag thrown pretty aggressively right in the direction of Reed Sauter. Wonder if something was said, maybe something unsportsmanlike, because that was far away from the play. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be some sort of personal foul. And after a gain of about 3, it's going to set Assumption all the way back again. And really that first drive was rough for Assumption in terms of penalties. It really set them back before they could really get started, and it resulted in a pretty quick first possession. Other than that, and someone yelled out in the crowd, just because the flags are yellow doesn't mean they're just for Pittsville, but the flag was just thrown against Assumption, so not really sure what's what's being said over here on the Assumption side of the bench. But either way, breaking free here is Cornwell, and he's able to get all that yardage back. So after the 15-yard penalty set them all the way back, Cornwell picks up right around 25 yards, and it's a first down for Assumption. And multiple times now, Cornwell's put the team on his back. He's responsible for the only score of the game so far here for Assumption. He broke off that 40-yard run in the second quarter to jumpstart things for Assumption, and they're going to have to start relying on those big plays if they're going to work their way back here. All the way down now to 3:12 left in the third quarter. Only a couple possessions remaining here for either team. Running forward with this one, Camden Martin, and he gets tackled down right around the 40-yard line. 25 from Cornwell, about 19 from Camden Martin, and great to see him back out onto the field after he was hurt earlier on in the game, and now not only is he back in, but he's making a mark. And we're right back to the area of the field where Cornwell was when he broke one in the second quarter. So we're seeing some momentum now here for this Royals team. See if they can build on it as running forward for a gain of about 3 or 4 more. I think that was Cornwell again that time. And we'll see. It's been a few runs right down the middle in a row. We'll see if they try to go one way or the other with a few of these. Maybe a jet sweep. Maybe even try and roll out and throw one here in these later stages of the third quarter. And now a flag is called, or a penalty is called. And I don't really know what that was. Unsportsmanlike conduct. So somehow it was called against Cornwell. Cornwell was in the huddle when this happened, so either something was said to the ref that the ref didn't care for, or Cornwell was yelling something all the way back at the Pittsville players 15, 20 yards away from where he was. And these are those moments I really wish I could know exactly what's going on down on the field. After Cornwell dug Assumption out of the previous hole, now he's going to have to find a way to dig them out of a hole again that this time he created. I'm very curious what was said or what was done that warranted that penalty. Either way, it's now a 2nd and 21 as it's going to be handed off, and Cornwell is going to stumble forward, wave his arms, and get a little bit back there. Still going to create a 3rd and about 13 on the play with 1:30 left to go in the 3rd here on the Key Savings Bank scoreboard. It's been a wild and interesting 3rd quarter, and there hasn't been a single point on the board.
Have the torch runners come out.
Same formation here on 3rd and 12. We got some motion from Martin. They're going to hand it off again to Cornwell. He's going to lose the football. Looks like he was down, though. Even so, it's a 4th and 9 now here from the 39-yard line.
Ball's whistled dead.
And we will have at least one more play here in the 3rd quarter as we'll see what Assumption decides to do. Looks like it's a 4th down and closer to 8 yards. And we'll have to see here, do they try and pass the ball here for only 2nd or 3rd time in the game, or do they try and put the game on Cornwell's back? And one of the last opportunities they're going to have to put some points on the board. Steinert will take it himself, and he is under pressure. He gets demolished right around the 49-yard line, and Pittsville gets the ball right back. This time is going to be in Assumption territory. 12 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, and Pittsville now can really fully take the driver's seat in this game. Williams Plumbing and Heating is locally owned and operated right here in Wisconsin Rapids. For all of your plumbing and heating needs, why look anywhere else? Call Williams Plumbing and Heating or find them online at williamsplumbingwr.com. Solaris is your hometown fiber internet provider. Just like our athletes bring their best to the field, we bring our best to your home, with lightning fast, reliable fiber internet that never quits. Stream, game, and connect without missing a beat. Get connected, stay connected at solaris.net. Running for a gain of about 2 that time. And that will do it here for the 3rd quarter. And so Pittsville looking to put a stamp on this one going into the final quarter. We'll be back in just a moment as we switch sides here on Zaleski Sports.
At Nicolay Bank, a great rate isn't new or trendy. Our Real Rewards checking has offered 3.00% annual percentage yield since 2011, earning customers over $20 million in interest. Join your friends and neighbors in experiencing Real Rewards checking and get excited to earn 3% more. See terms and apply at nicolaybank.com. Nicolay Bank. Real people, real conversations.
Culligan Water delivers. From your first call, to your first sip, to your first soak. Culligan, give us a tap. The only water that comes with a van.
Is it time to replace your old gutters? Call Schwartz Seamless Gutters and protect your home with new seamless technology. No seams, no leaks. With free estimates in 2 days or less and workmanship guaranteed, our service is as seamless as our gutters.
Welcome back here to Zaleski Sports as players are getting ready for the fourth quarter and the homecoming court getting announced down below. As still festivities, a lot of fun here. We got some cool sounds from the Assumption band and got to see some cool other performances as well at the half. The Assumption Theater Club, or I'm not sure if it's the theater club or if it's a class or what it was, but they did a cool showing of Sister Act. And this one, breaking free, just tripped up there by Camden Martin. That would have been most likely gone to the house there on still a nice run. Looked like that time it was Christian Matthews picking that up. Excuse me, that might have actually been 28, not 23, so that's Titus Reese. And it was actually Christian Matthews, my apologies. And so another first down here from the 34-yard line. Pittsville with another good gain here of 3. And that's been a big part of this game for Pittsville. Is it hasn't just been long runs that they've been able to break out. It hasn't just been Dawson Luther doing his thing. It feels like no matter who has the ball, it feels like there are hardly any negative plays. You know, they might get stonewalled, they might get stopped behind the line initially, but it's just those extra surges for 1 or 2. Making every play at least a gain of 1 or 2 is huge because it is so hard to stop a team for all 4 downs going down the field when you don't have at least 1 or 2 negative plays in there. They've, quelled their penalties. There have been pretty much no penalties called against Pittsville all game long. It just has been just like head coach Jeremy Dewar talked about in pregame. He said the biggest thing was playing clean with no turnovers, and that's exactly what they've done throughout the course of this game. They've played such a clean and fundamental game that it's made it very difficult with the other playmakers they have on top of those things for Assumption to really stop it. So hats off to them, hats off to the coaching, because that's such a big coaching thing. Not saying that any of the mistakes on Assumption's side were due to bad coaching at all. Not saying that at all. But it still is a good mark of a good team and a good squad behind it to have those fundamental things solid. And as I'm saying those things, there was a negative play and a good stop there by Assumption to set up a 4th and 6. And that'll make things interesting here. Still 10 minutes left to go here in the game, but a 3-possession game. And once again, in that area of the field where punting really makes no sense regardless of the score. So Pittsville will look to try and put this game away here on 4th and 6. The end around tossed and stopped. Not stopped quite yet. Now finally stopped by Assumption right around the Assumption 38-yard line. Or closer to the 37-yard line. So it will be another turnover on downs here. Assumption back on the offensive. Let Carrie Van Ert with State Farm be your go-to for all of your insurance needs. Carrie and her staff are always there to help you understand your options and come away with the right coverage for you. That's Carrie Van Ert with State Farm in Wisconsin Rapids.
4411-957. 4411-957.
And it looks like my raffle number came up just a bit short as we start the first down here for Assumption. Throwing this one in, it's immediately intercepted. Pittsville's going to get the ball right back. And it's one of those situations you feel like you have to start airing the ball out, really no choice. But definitely an errant throw that time, just floating it up, and Pittsville right on top of it. And we're right back with Pittsville ball.
Once again, 50-50 raffle. 4411-957.
Metalco in Wisconsin Rapids is one of North America's largest aluminum, belay, and slab producers. Come get to know Metalco and how their missions, visions, and values set them apart. Find your future job at Metelco and apply online at metelco.com. It's one of those reads I always have to do at least a second time throughout the course of the night because that tongue twister always gets me. So happy to do that correctly for him here near the end of the game as Pittsville back on offense and cutting up field to the far side, sidestepping a few defenders and picking up about 12 yards there is Dawson Luther. And barring some sort of miraculous play by some other player throughout the course of this game, you can expect an interview for Dawson Luther after the game here on Zaleski Sports, as he has definitely been the main impact player for this team, although kind of guessing based off of the way I've seen him answer questions before that it'll be a lot of couldn't do it without this, can't do it without that. Very selfless player. And sure, he'll say something about the offensive line if I had to guess, just giving in my predictions because the trenches have also been amazing throughout the course of this game. Stop behind the line again. You know, we've seen Assumption really solidify their defense. It feels like they haven't quite been able to get into the rhythm offensively that they were hoping for. Because like I said, this game got away from them early due to some of those turnovers early on. Offensively, they, without those turnovers, might have been able to put some stuff together. It just feels like they never were able to consistently drive down the field and get a solid 5 or 6 first downs. And so consistent football is certainly something they'll work on during the home stretch of this season. And throwing this one, no one in the vicinity, as that one was intended that time for Titus Reese. And down on the ground there, that certainly, well, hopefully looks like actually a cramp as Dawson Luther helping him stretch it out. Whenever you immediately see the work done on that, certainly something to be happy about because those cramps, they do hit you hard, especially when it's right around 70 degrees in October. I mean, what are we doing here? And I'm sure we'll be talking in 2 weeks about how it's almost too cold to keep the windows open in the press box. It's just the way things are here in the Midwest. I'd like to thank Investors Choice for sponsoring Zaleski Sports. Shouldn't financial advice focus on you, your goals, and your dreams? Your Modern Woodman of America representative can help you plan for all stages of life. From protection to saving to retirement, call Scott Paterick at 715-424-1873 to start the conversation. Again, that's 715-424-1873. As we see, working his way off the field there is Dalton Darr. Must have been a little more gnarly of a cramp, but he is thankfully off the field. We'd finally like to thank Skis Meat Market, Made a Custom, Key Savings Bank, Culligan Water, and Express Employment for their support of Zaleski Sports as well, as both teams make their way back out onto the field after the brief injury timeout. And Pittsville, once again, in a 3rd and long situation. Luther's got a man behind him. Luther's going to drop back. He's immediately under pressure, tossing this one out, able to get past one defender, not going to get all the way there, but going to certainly make things interesting, and making things even more interesting is the flag that just fell in the area. And
there is a flag on the play.
Have to see who it is against. Assumption has taken the brunt of these penalties throughout the course of this game. Like I said, Pittsville's been playing a very clean version of football so far here tonight. We'll see if I just jinxed that. This pretty lengthy discussion there by the officials. And it will be against Assumption.
Flag is against the Royals.
And so, Royals thinking they had potentially another 4th down situation to get the ball back. And instead, the ball gets walked out 15 yards on the personal foul penalty all the way to the 16-yard line. And on top of other things, penalties just absolutely brutal against Assumption throughout the course of this game. They were trying to get a drive going in that last possession, and multiple times they had 1st and 10s. They had good things going, and it was a big 15-yard penalty against Cornwell that ended up being the nail in the coffin on that drive. They had a 1st and 10 all set up, and Cornwell was yelling something. I don't know what he said. He said something to the ref or to Pittsville on the other side. They were in the huddle, and he got penalized. So just a rough night as Luther is going to dive for the end zone. And did he get there? And it looks like they're going to say he got stopped just short of what would be his 3rd touchdown of the night. Trying to see if he can break his record from last week of 5 total touchdowns. And so we'll see. Actually, it looks like he was shorter than any of us thought. It was right around the 3-yard line as he started to dive. Or no, they gave him a touchdown. I apologize. I saw multiple refs signaling for the spot rather than putting their hands up, and then they must have talked about it after the fact. So I apologize. I'm one of the last to know here as they line up for the 2-point conversion. So it is going to be the now 4th touchdown of the night for Dawson Luther. And stopped there, so no 2-point conversion for Pittsville. It'll keep it at a 24-point game. It'll remain a 3-possession game as Assumption will get the ball back with 7:15 left to go, and we'll send things to a commercial break here on Zaleski Sports.
I got referred to the orthodontist, and I was really nervous, but in my 2-year process, the staff was very welcoming and very kind to me. My brother also had treatment here, and he was very happy with a smile. I'd recommend Bruce Orthodontics to all my friends and family that want a beautiful smile just like us.
When I come in for my appointment, the wait is really short. All of the workers are very kind and sweet. They try to make sure that everything in my mouth is just right after my checkup, and Dr. Bruce is very nice.
I'd love the opportunity to meet you and transform your smile. Call us to set up your free consultation today.
Does your roof need attention? Don't replace it, restore it with Seamless Commercial Roofing. Our process is guaranteed and a fraction of the cost of replacement with no downtime. When your roof needs attention, call Seamless Commercial Roofing in Marshfield.
Welcome back here to Zaleski Sports. As is another touchdown here for Pittsville, another one for Dawson Luther. He was responsible for 5 of the 6 touchdowns last week, and now he's responsible for all 4 here tonight. As 3 of those were offensive, 1 was based off of a scoop and score. Again, really wish I had my binoculars to figure out on that play. I even looked it back at the halftime break. It was just too many players in the play for me to know who punched that ball out, because he definitely deserves his flowers on that play. As a nice return here, taking it all the way to the 50-yard line to set things up for Assumption at midfield. Looks like that was Reed Sauter on the play to be able to take this one pretty deep. And so for Assumption, plenty of things to work on, plenty of things to get better at. And it just feels like they, again, played a much better game than what scoreboard says. Just got to work on getting this ball across the line and finishing drives, because it just got so difficult for them once that turnover happened, once they were down by multiple possessions. Just the way they play football with that aggressive running style, it's just really difficult to get back into games when any drive you have has to be slow and methodical. Unless you break one, it's going to be long drives that are going to take so much time off the clock this late in the game. And so handing this one off, Cornwell's able to pick up about 7 there. Or excuse me, that was on the second down and 7. So it was a pickup of about 4 or 5 to set up a third and very manageable. And so Pittsville well on their way to their technically second win of the season. It would make them 2-5, excuse me, on the season. They did have that forfeit earlier on in their season, so this is going to be their first win for a game they actually did play. Losing the football, falling on top of it immediately is Steinert. And so the third and manageable ends up not being that way because of the botched snap, and it's a 4th and 4. Some of those fundamental things that Pittsville did so well this game, it's really been the downfall of this Assumption team. Penalties and turnovers, potential turnovers, and had significantly more negative plays than Pittsville. It's resulted in them being backed up, and anytime you have as many penalties in a game as Assumption's had when you're a running football team, it just isn't going to work out. And so 4th and 4, Steinert falls back, and this one is going to be caught by by Camden Martin, and he's going to make his way all the way to the 25-yard line. Again, Martin was on the ground on the far side of the field earlier on in the game, so amazing to see he's up, and he's already made some impact plays on both sides of the ball after he's come back out onto the field. Honestly, if I'm going to be honest, I'm very happy with how few cramps we've seen so far here tonight because, again, you've got some games that were colder earlier on in the season, then all of a sudden you swing back to the warmer nights as Steinert gets stopped about a half yard behind the line. When you get those warmer nights mixed in after your body starts getting used to the cold, it throws off the equilibrium a little bit. And now we're getting to a point where you'd expect at some point it's going to start getting cooler, but looking at the schedule, it's going to be 66 degrees next Friday. And that did cool off significantly since the last time I looked at the weather, but of course, rain expected right around kickoff time, but a lot of things can change. Just certainly hoping we don't have another bad weather game here in Wisconsin Rapids. We've had our fair share of those already this year. This one's going to be tossed to the far side of the field. That's Ott, and Ott is going to get one tackle or one block here, and he's going to lose the football, and it's going to be picked up by Pittsville. And that time, I don't even know what happened. It looked like that one just trying to make a cut just fell out of his hands.
He started with a carry. It's a fumble on the play.
And so with 3:31 left to go, that might have been the last offensive possession of the game here.
First down for the Panthers.
For Assumption. We'll see if Pittsville can just salt the game away here.
Homecoming court. Lady Senderosas, Jeremy Arias, Matty Grauman, Braden Peters, Bella Thomas, Ron Board, Lucy Dolan, Jaden Johnson, and Queen Ari Kavanaugh, and King Quantran. Have a great homecoming weekend.
And so we got a handoff here for a gain of about 2. As that one was handed off to Noah Cornoyer.
Noah Cornoyer with a carry. Pick up of a couple. Second down.
Taking a look here for Pittsville, again picking up their second official win of the season, their first in a game. And so they'll improve to 2-5 on the season. They'll be 2-3 in the conference as well. And they have 2 more conference games to round out their regular season. They'll play Iola Scandinavia, and they'll play at Pacelli. Worth noting that those are 2 games that Assumption also did win earlier on in the season. Obviously, you can't compare on a 1-to-1 scale because there's been plenty of games where a team's won handily and then the same team that beat them later ends up losing to that team, and you never really know what's going to happen. Iowa, Scandinavian, Pacelli, both very scrappy teams, but certainly hoping that they can try and ride to a season that ends close to 500 if they can continue this momentum and continue this kind of play from Dawson Luther as well. As for Assumption, after winning 2 in a row earlier on in the season, they find themselves with a 3-game losing streak, as it's like their last scheduled game is at Auburndale next week. And that'll definitely be a tough game as well against a very good team. With Assumption falling now to 2-5, both teams will come away from this game with the same overall record and the same conference record. And so it's got a 4th and 8 here. And now we will see a potential return man for Assumption. So I spoke a little too soon about that being the last offensive possession for Assumption. We'll see if they've got one more in them here in the late stages. We have a timeout called here by Pittsville, and since it's the last few moments here before the end of the game, we'll kind of break things down as we're going to be rushing down at the end of the game to talk to head coach Jeremy Dewar and the superstar Dawson Luther following another amazing performance. With another big congratulations to him for, if you didn't hear it earlier on in the season or on the game and didn't watch last week, he broke the single game record for Pittsville for rushing yards in a game. Ran for 5 touchdowns on 389 yards and 29 rushes. That shattered a record that existed all the way back to 1979. That was Chris Solotki, who had 334. So that's over 50 more that he broke that record by. Absolutely amazing. And even better performance, or not even better, but a great performance here tonight as well. We'll talk to him about all those things. And so a punt upcoming here for the Panthers. And Martin will grab this one and head back with it. Cut back all the way around to the 26-yard line. And with 1:04 left to go, a few plays left for Assumption to see what they can do here.
Turn on the play. Look at the Royals say 1st and 10 on the Panthers' 26-yard line.
And so lining up here for Assumption, it's going to be a tough loss for them here tonight, but plenty of positives to look at as they finish off their season next week, or their regular season, I should say. Dropping back, Steinert will toss it and can't quite pull that one in.
Pass is broken up. 2nd down.
And that one was obviously heavily contested, kind of thrown up just to see what would happen that time. Tough catch to try and make. See some Pittsville faithful taking the trek over here to support their team on the away side over there. And so props to them for coming out here, getting some nice weather here tonight, as Cornwell will fall to the ground. And it will be a 3rd and about 8 yards. And it looks like they will get ready for
3rd down.
most likely one last play. Steinert taking it, and he will be dropped to set up 4th down, and most likely that will be it here tonight.
Trying to keep the ball. Bring up a 4th down.
And actually, arms waved as a timeout will be taken here by Assumption.
Timeout on the field.
And it looks like they're going to take a timeout, talk things over here, just to kind of see what they want to do. They might just try and heave one up just for the heck of it, see what happens. Maybe they can get one more touchdown out of this for the last play, potentially, of their game. But we'd like to thank you again for tuning in here. Again, don't go away. So we have more for you after the commercial break. And just another reminder that even after football season's over, we've got more fall sports finishing up, and then we're right into the winter here on Zaleski, as we've got girls and boys basketball starting up. We got hockey, we've got all of it for you. And on top of that, soccer not over yet, volleyball not over yet. Plenty of exciting action here on Zaleski. It's all year round here on Zaleski Sports, and we're happy to have you with us as the Assumption Royals gear up for a 4th and 12 here with 27 seconds left to go in the game. Steinert on the run. He's in trouble. He's able to escape a few different players. He's got a little bit of space to work with. He'll toss it. And does Martin get his feet down? He does. Well short of the 1st down, but that was still an impressive play. Obviously, had the situation been a little bit different, that would have been an even more impressive play, but still Steinert was able to work his way through, and that might have been the most exciting 4th and 12 in this kind of a situation and turnover on downs that I've ever called. Almost got fooled by the yard markers with my depth of field here up in the press box, but Pittsville looking to kneel it one last time here for a victory, as they're able to improve to 2-5 on the season, pick up their first win in a game played this year, and showing a lot of resilience so far this season. We'll talk a lot about that resilience with Jeremy Dewar here in this postgame show, but postgame show brought to you by Key Savings Bank. You'll feel right at home from the moment you walk through the door at Key Savings Bank. Enjoy all the perks of working with your local community bank and experience it for yourself by stopping in or online at keysavingsbank.com.
We have something that we're trying to create at Key Savings Bank called Outward Energy. We don't just want to have the doors open, our members walk through. We want to be where they are. We go to meet them, we participate in their events. We think that's vitally important for us to show that Key Savings Bank is a part of the communities that we're in.
We received a very positive reaction from our community. On average, we had 250 to 300 kids alone that entered our building for the Halloween party. That didn't include the adults, grandparents, parents that brought the children. It's wonderful to be out in our community grocery shopping with my Key Savings Bank apparel, and families walk up to me and say, "Hey, I attended your Halloween party."
So about a month ago, I was approached by Sheriff Becker of Wood County Sheriff's Department, and he asked me if we'd want to participate in the Back the Badge bench press meet. So Key Savings Bank sponsored, had a $500 sponsorship to that, and I myself participated in that. And it was a really great experience. There was about 40 different people that participated throughout Wood County and actually the state. So with the Sheriff's Department obviously doing so much for us and throughout the community, it was just our way of giving back.
And now when I tell my friends and family what I'm doing or what I do every day or what involvements I'm doing, like, oh, that's the bank that offered the Halloween party. That's the bank that does the Christmas party. That's the bank that sponsors these golf events. So our awareness alone has just become amazing in the last year.
Key Savings Bank participates in a lot of these events. We love to do it. We love to know the community and the other businesses within the community. It's rewarding to see smiling faces the kids event, when we bring them pizza, there's not just one winner, there's multiple winners. Cheese pizza is one of the coolest things that these kids love. And just seeing the smiling faces is outstanding. Probably the funnest event that we do is what you see behind me here is our coloring contest for the local kids. It's a fun event. We do a lot of fun stuff with it on our Facebook page. The voting goes nuts because it's the community that votes for it. And at the end, there's a lot of participation. So that's the best event tonight.
We had Thursday grill outs. We did that. We were raising money for the Rome Canine Division. We set up in mid-June to have grill outs each and every Thursday, all the way through till the middle of August.
Numerous amount of golf outings where we raise money specifically for that event through our whole sponsorships and games that we play.
My employees right now are all very active in participating in literally hundreds of events over the last 2 years that make Key Savings Bank a part of this community. We think that's very important.
Thumbs up here. And welcome back here from Wisconsin Rapids, as it was a rout here for Pittsville. And I'm, of course, here with quarterback Dawson Luther as well as head coach Jeremy Dewar. I'll actually start here with you, Coach Dewar. Talk a little bit about the resilience of this team. You know, paper will say one thing, this team says something completely different. This has been a team that's dealt with a lot of adversity this season, and you've played a lot of good teams this year as well. Talk about how that's kind of sharpened this team, and even in that huddle at the end of the game, I heard you talking about always something to learn. Talk about the resilience of this team and what it's meant to you so far this season.
Yeah, we started out with a real strong schedule. First game of the year, we lost one of our better linemen to a torn ACL. Other guys stepped up and filled the role. Just took a few games, especially when you're playing some quality teams like Edgar and Auburndale. takes a little bit to get them guys in their groove. Last weekend, you've seen we were in pretty good groove on offense. This week, our defense played phenomenal. Like the resilience of them, we got some drives stalled on offense. Defense stepped up, stayed disciplined, did their job, forced turnovers, forced fourth downs, and just so proud of how our defense played.
Well, thank you very much, Coach. I'll turn things over here to Dawson. And Dawson, obviously, you are no stranger here to the Highlight House. Doesn't matter what it is, it seems you're doing. Congratulations again on last week's game, truly historic. I want to talk to you about leadership because you put that performance together. You and Coach were talking about the O-line. You know, it's always about not just yourself, but your teammates. And especially now coming in as a senior, talk about what that leadership means to you and what it means to this team, because it means a lot of different things to a lot of people.
Yeah. I remember in August during training camp, our coaches always ask like a personal goal and a team goal. This year my personal goal is to step up as a leader on the field, and I feel like I'm doing that this year, just leading by example and just kind of showing the younger guys what it takes to be a good football player and have a good team.
Well, thank you very much, Dawson. I'm sure you know what to do next. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, and you know what to say.
I'm Dawson Luther, and I'm in the house.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.